Welcome to our tutorial on how to make placements. In Exxat Prism, you can make placements for students in multiple ways. You can also use collected student preferences to make informed decisions when placing students with our Placement Assist program. This video is comprised of 23 chapters, and it will cover all the different ways of how to create and publish student placements, use the Placement Assist program, notify stakeholders of slot usage and student placements, and run reports on slots and placements. Placement groups are groups of course offerings which allow you to analyze slot availability and make placements for multiple courses all at once. You can group courses by any criteria of your choosing. For example, you can create a placement group for a cohort of students to manage all their placements on the same page. To add a placement group, click on the Placement section of your dashboard. You can also navigate to the Placement section from the upper left-hand hamburger menu. You will be taken to a page listing all the courses in your system. To add a new placement group, click on the Add Group button. You will then provide a name for the group, and you can provide a description in the text area below. Click the Next button. You will then need to select the courses you would like to add to the placement group. You can use the course number and course name boxes to search for specific courses. You can also filter the list of courses by academic year, professional year, term, and cohort. Once you have entered your search criteria, click on the Search button, make your selections, and click the Next button. You will then review the group you are creating, then click the Update button. This placement group will then be added to the list of placement groups displayed on the left-hand side of the page. You can delete a group by clicking on the trash bin icon. You can also edit a group using the pencil icon. Because placement groups only aggregate courses, you can edit and delete placement groups without losing any course data. When on a placement group page, click on the Placements for Group button to create slots and rotations and make placements for all the courses in the group at the same time. By accessing the Placements for Group button, it is possible to create rotations used in multiple courses at the same time. This is helpful for programs who use rotations across multiple courses. Click on one of the course names to enter the placement page for the course. It is also possible to access the placement page of a course from the course page by selecting the Placements option from the left-hand menu. Please note that anywhere there is a list of students displayed, you will have the ability to filter this list by student status, student cohort groups, student tags, student categories, and student campus. First, you will need to set up rotations for the course. Click on the Rotation Setup tab. Rotations are periods of time where the student will be placed for experiences at a location. You will need to set up rotations to place students in the course. There will be a table containing the course offering you are setting up rotations for. You can enter the course page by clicking on the course name. To add a rotation, click on the Add Rotation button. You will then enter the information for the rotation. You will need to populate any section marked with a red asterisk. Enter the title of the rotation, then select a rotation start date by clicking on the calendar icon, then selecting the date the rotation will start. You will need to do the same for the end date. In the minimum required duration section, include the minimum amount of time required for this rotation. You can change the option in the time segment section to indicate if this is a number of weeks, days, or hours. You will then need to select the course you are setting this rotation up for. If you are setting this rotation up for a placement group, you can select multiple courses to assign this rotation to. If you would like to split your rotation up into multiple start dates and end dates, flip the Setup Advanced Schedule bit. Advanced schedule rotations are used when the rotation has multiple options for start dates and end dates. You will then provide the scheduled start date and end date. You can add another schedule by clicking on the Add Schedule button. Some schools let students see information about the other students placed at the location where they are placed. If you would like students to view the other students placed at the same location, activate the Show Other Students Placed bit. If you would like to add this rotation to the Site Resources page, activate the Show on Site Resources page bit. Some schools choose to allocate credits to experiential supervisors who work with their students. If you would like to send experiential supervisors credit for their supervision hours, activate the Thank Experiential Supervisors with Credit for Hours bit. You will then select if you would like to send them credit for a set number of hours or the approved timesheet hours. If you choose to use a set number of hours, you will then need to provide the number of hours. If students will be assigned multiple experiential supervisors, activate the Collect Supervision Percentage per Experiential Supervisor bit. This is used to distribute credits to these experiential supervisors based on their percentage of time spent with the student. You will then indicate if you would like this field to be mandatory for students to fill. If you choose to use the Approved Timesheet Hours option, then the approved hours calculated from the timesheets are automatically tagged to the experiential supervisors. If you chose to award the experiential supervisors in credits, you need to enter the CEU credits. Lastly, you can provide notes about the rotation in the Rotation Notes area below. Other school administrators can view these notes. If, for example, you are adding a tentative rotation, you can leave a note indicating this rotation is tentative and therefore not ready for student placement. Once you are done, click the Save button. To edit a rotation, click on the rotation name. You can then make changes to the rotation. To delete this rotation, click on the vertical ellipses in the upper right-hand corner of the window, then select the Delete option. Please note, you can add as many rotations as you need. Once you have created rotations, you will then need to create slots for the rotation. Slots are an instance of location availability where students can be placed for a rotation. You can make direct placements at locations, circumventing the use of slots. However, slots are useful for collecting student preferences, keeping track of site and location availability, and they are used by the auto placement feature to find the best fit for student placements. Before you add slots for locations, you should check the location's availability for the upcoming rotations. You can do this using our slot request feature. When sites indicate availability through a slot request, these slots offered will automatically be added to the system. If, however, locations send their availability outside of the Exxat system, you will then need to add these slots to the system manually. To add slots, click on the Slots tab, then select the List tab. In the List tab, you can add these slots for student placement. Click on the Add Slot button to add new slots. You will then need to select the parent site of the location offering these new slots. You can click on the site name to view the site page. You can also search for specific sites using the search box. Once you have made your selection, click the Next button. Using the Location dropdown, select the location offering these slots. You can then select the experiential supervisors assigned to these slots. Personnel assigned to the location as an experiential supervisor will appear in this experiential supervisor dropdown. In the Settings section, select the setting for this slot. Next, indicate whether this slot is tentative, confirmed, or cancelled. Tentative slots have not been confirmed by the site. Confirmed slots have been confirmed by the location. Slots are usually marked as cancelled if they are no longer offered after they have been added. If you indicate the slot as cancelled, you will then need to select whether the slot was cancelled by the school or by the site. You can also provide an explanation for this cancelled slot in the comments section. In the Slot Type section, you can indicate additional information about the slot. You can indicate whether the slot is first come first served based on student preferences, requires the student to submit a resume, requires a student interview, if it needs to be filled, or if it was requested by the student. In the Supervision type, you will indicate the ratio of students to experiential supervisors at this placement. For example, if there are 2 experiential supervisors for every student placed in this slot, select the 1 student to 2 clinical instructors option. In the Notes, Shared with Students section, you can provide notes about the slot to students. For example, you can let students know if the slot is highly competitive. In the Notes, Internal Use Only section, you can provide notes about the slot which you would like to not be shared with students. For example, if you have concerns about this slot being cancelled in the future, you can share these concerns with other administrators. Lastly, there will be a section below, listing the rotations which you are assigning these slots to. The slot dates will automatically be populated with the rotation dates. If you would like the slot dates to be different than the rotation dates, you can always make changes to these dates by clicking on the calendar icon. Lastly, enter the number of slots offered for each rotation. Once you are done, click on the Add Slots button. These slots will then be added to the list of slots below. Please note it is also possible to add slots in the slots section of a site or location page. In the slots dashboard, you can view counts of slots where students are placed and number of slots available for placements. You can view this information in the slots by setting or slots by rotation sections. In the slots by type and slots by status sections, you can view the proportion of slots you have for a given type or status. You can also click on the section of the graphical report that directs you to the slots list with the applied filters. In the slot list, you can view all the slots added. For each entry, you can click on a location name to enter the location page. You can also click on a site name to enter the site page. You can also click on the number of students interested hyperlink to view which students indicated their preference for this slot on a slot-based wishlist or within the published slots section. You can also view additional information on the table related to each slot, such as the slot dates, the slot setting, the number of students placed, and more. You can use the search box to search for a specific slot. You can also use the filter icon to filter out slots by various slot-related criteria. To edit the columns of the table, click on the wrench icon. You can then drag and drop the columns using the double ellipses, or by clicking on the up and down arrows. Or delete columns by clicking on the trash bin icon. If you would like to re-add a deleted column, click the Add a Column button, then select the column you would like to re-add. Be sure to save once you are finished. If you would like to store a record of your added slots offline, you can export this table of slots. To export the table of slots in the Excel format, click on the export icon. In the case that a site reaches out and tells you that slots offered have been changed, you will need to manually update these slots in the system. To make changes to a set of slots, click on the pencil icon in the Action column. A window will then open displaying the slot information for this set of slots. In the top right-hand corner of the page, you can view the total number of slots, the number of slots where students are placed, and the number of slots still available for student placement. To make changes to existing available slots, click on the Available Slots tab, then click on one of the slots accordions. You can then make the necessary changes to the slot information for this slot. Please note that all slots of a slot set have the same information, therefore if you change any of this information, the slot will be removed from this set and a new set of slots will be created within the slot list to contain this slot. You can also delete a slot by clicking on the trash bin icon. To add more slots with this exact same information to this set of slots, click on the Add Slots button. You can then enter the number of slots you would like to add into the text box and click the Add button. These slots will then be added of the exact same slot configuration. If a set of slots has changed, such as if a different experiential supervisor has been assigned to these slots, you can use the bulk edit feature to edit the information of all slots in a slot group simultaneously. To bulk edit a group of slots, select the slots which you would like to edit, then click on the Bulk Edit button. You can then select the field which you would like to update, then select the value of that field you would like to update for the slots. You can add another field to edit multiple fields at a time by clicking the Add Field button. To delete a field from the edit instance, click on the trash bin icon in the right-hand side of the page. Be sure to click on the Save button once you are finished. To view students placed in a slot, click on the Total Place tab. You will then see a list of the students' names who are placed in this type of slot. Once you have set up your slots, you are ready to move on to making placements. Click on the Placements tab. You can make placements by using either the By Location view or by Student view. In the View by Location section, you can view all of the slots offered by locations for this rotation. To view comprehensive information about the location and the slots offered at a location, click on the Expand button on the left-hand side of the table. You will be able to see the location name, the rotation name, the experiential supervisor at the location, who updated the slot and when the slot was updated, the number of slots offered, slot setting, the slot dates, slot status, slot type, supervision type, and the number of open slots remaining. Click on the Sort icon in the upper right-hand side of the page to sort the slots by location, rotation, setting, or slots available. Click on the Filter icon to filter out locations by rotation, setting, slot status, slot type, and slot availability. Click on the Explore on Map button. The Explore on Map page lets you view all available slots and student placements in your program. You can zoom in and out on the map using the plus and minus buttons. You can use the search box to search for specific locations, cities, zip codes, or states. To change the type of the search box, click on the search box drop-down and make your selection. Within the map, the purple icon indicates where your school is located. The green pin with a number indicates the location with that number of available slots and no placements made. The blue pin with a check mark indicates a location with all their slots occupied by student placements. To filter out this list of slots/placements, click on the filter icon. You can then filter out these slots and placements by various slot and location criteria. After you have made your selections, be sure to click on the Apply button. Hover over a location from the list of locations on the left-hand side of the page and a black pin will appear on the map indicating the coordinates of this location. You can also click on a location to view the location's address. Click on the Get Directions hyperlink to get directions to the location in Google Maps. Click on the View Details hyperlink to view an overview of the students placed at the location within the previously selected course or courses if you access this page from a placement group. At the top of the page, you will see an overview of the number of slots offered, the number of placements made using these slots, and the number of available slots. There will be a box for each group of slots offered in the course or courses. You can view various slot information for each slot group such as the slot setting, rotation for which these slots are offered, the slot dates, slot status, supervision type, experiential supervisor assigned, and the students placed using these slots. Click on a student's name to access the student's profile. It is also possible to place a student in these slots using the Place button. We will cover how to make a placement in the Explore on Map section in a later chapter. Click on the Placements Made tab. This changes the pins on the page to indicate the number of placements made at a given location. We also offer our Placement Assist option to help you place students based on the student preferences. Placement Assist is an auto-placement tool that matches your students to slots based on their preferences as indicated on the wishlists. Therefore, it can be helpful to run the Placement Assist report before you make student placements. This feature considers the following wishlists: the slot-based wishlist, location-based wishlist, slot and location-based wishlist, setting-based wishlist, location area-based wishlist, and rotation preference wishlist. It can also run randomized placements without a wishlist. You can run Placement Assist as many times as you would like. Placement Assist does not automatically place students in the proposed slots, so you can have the final say and make manual changes to the suggested placements. However, you will have the ability to allow it to make the suggested placements if you so please. Please note that because Placement Assist uses the slots available to suggest placements in the system, you need to have slots added. If you do not collect slots from sites, you can always create dummy slots at the location which you know are going to accept your students for placement. Also keep in mind Placement Assist will always place a student not more than once in a course offering, not more than once in a rotation, and will not place students in unavailable slots. To run the Placement Assist for a single course, click on the Placement Assist button in the upper right-hand corner of the page. It is also possible to run Placement Assist for a group of courses using a placement group. You can edit the name of the Placement Assist instance in the text box in the upper left-hand corner of the page. You will then need to select the rotation or rotations you would like to perform Placement Assist for. Click on the arrow to the left of a rotation dropdown and select the specific wishlists that you would like taken into account by the Placement Assist program. If you would like to run the Placement Assist for specific students, click the Select Students button. Unselect the students you would like to exclude from the instance. You will then indicate if you would like to include placed students and used slots in the placement report. If you would like the Placement Assist program to take into account the distance from a location to a student's address, activate the Consider Distance for Placements bit. The program will then assign students to locations closer to them with a higher likelihood. You can choose whether you would like the distance from the school to each location to be taken into account or the distance from each student's address to the location to be taken into account. You can also associate a setting with each course, meaning only slots of the given setting will be selected for the course in the report. If you would like to associate settings with the courses, activate the Pair Courses with Clinical Settings bit, then click on the pencil icon for a course. You can then choose the settings you would like to associate with the course. This system will then only use slots of these assigned settings for placements in the course. This is particularly useful if you are running a placement assist for multiple courses. Keep in mind, once you assign courses with settings, these settings will be saved for future placement assist instances. If you would like to assign priority to specific slot types, settings, or statuses, activate the customization based on slot types, customization based on slot settings, or customization based on slot status bits. You can then assign weightages to the different slot types, settings, or statuses. A higher weightage means that slots of that type, setting, or status will be prioritized. Once you are ready, click the Run Placement Assist button. You will be taken to the History tab, which displays all the instances in which Placement Assist was run. The status of your new Placement Assist instance will appear as in progress. It may take a few minutes to run, so you can always leave this page and come back later if you would like. When it is finished, the status will change to completed. To view the Placement Assist report, click on the download icon on the right-hand side of the table. An Excel file will be downloaded containing the suggested placements. On the first sheet of the Placement Assist report, the summary sheet, you can view an overview of how many students were in the report, how many students who did not receive a location they requested, how many students were placed, etc. On the Placements sheet of the Excel file, you can view the suggested placements for each of the students. Navigate back to the History tab of the Placement Assist page. You can choose to make the student placements manually, or you can have the system create the placements for you. To have the system make the proposed placements, click on the Create Placements button in the Action column. The system will display a small window detailing the number of students who were included in the Placement Assist instance and the number of placements that were created. If you are sure that you would like to create the placements, click on the Confirm and Proceed button. The system will then make the proposed placements. A green banner will appear at the top of the page if the students were placed successfully. Please note that the Placement Assist program will not automatically publish created placements. Therefore, you will need to navigate to the Placements page to publish these newly created placements. If you are having trouble with deciding how to make equitable placements, the Placement Assist program is an efficient way of planning how to make these placements. Click on the Dashboard tab within the placement page of a course or a placement group. The dashboard houses helpful counts and placement-related information for you to keep track of slot availability and student placements made. In the upper left-hand corner of the page, you can view the number of courses, students, and rotations which are related to this course or placement group. When you click on the number of courses or number of rotations, you will be taken to the Rotation Setup tab, which displays the courses and rotations set up for them. If you click on the count of students, you will be taken to the Student View of the Placements tab. In the Available Slots section, you can view the number of available slots out of the total number of slots added. When you click on the number of available slots, you will be taken to the Slots tab filtered to show only available slots. In the Placement section, you can view the total number of student placements created, the number of placements that have yet to be created, and the percentage of placements published out of the total number of placements. The number of placements yet to be created assumes that each student enrolled in each course is expected to be placed at least once, so this is the count of instances when a student is enrolled in a course but not placed in it. Therefore, if you do not expect to place every student in each course once, you may disregard this number. Click on the Placements Created count to navigate to the List View of the Placements tab. Click on the Placements Yet to be Created count to access the Student View of the Placements tab. Click on the percent of placements published to navigate to the List View of the Placement tab, filtered to show published student placements. Below the published placements percentage, you will find the number of placements still unpublished. Click on this number to access the List View of the Placements tab, filtered to show the student placements that have not yet been published. The Wishlists section shows the number of wishlists configured for this course or placement group. Click on the count of wishlists to access the Wishlist tab. The Placements Overview section displays a helpful bar graph which shows the proportions of placed students and published placements in each course within the placement group. For each course you can see the proportion of placed students compared to the proportion of non-placed students, and the proportion of student placements which are published, compared to the proportion of student placements not yet published. Click on the proportion of placed or non-placed students to access the Student View of the Placement page. Click on the proportion of published placements to access the list view of the placement page. Filter to show the published placements in the selected course offering. Click on the proportion of non-published placements to access the list view of the placement page. Filter to show the non-published placements in the selected course offering. By clicking on the Rotation tab, you can view the proportion of student placements published compared to that of unpublished students for each rotation added to the placement group. Click on the Published Placements section of a rotations bar graph to access the List View of the Placements tab. Filter to show the published placements at that rotation. Click on the Non-Published Placements section of a rotations bar graph to access the List View of the Placements tab. Filter to show the non-published placements at that rotation. In the Timeline Overview section, there will be helpful counts for the total number of rotations, ongoing rotations, and upcoming rotations added to the course or placement group. Below, you will see a chart displaying all of the rotations added to the course or placement group. Each rotation will have a horizontal bar which starts on the rotation start date and ends on the rotation end date. You can scroll left to view completed placements or scroll right to view upcoming placements. When you click on a rotation bar, you will see helpful counts of the available slots, students placed, and placements not yet published. Click on the available slots to navigate to the Location View of the Placements tab. Filter to only show slots confirmed for the selected rotation. Click on the Students Placed to navigate to the List View of the Placements tab. Filter to show the student placements within this rotation. Click on the Non-Published Count to navigate to Email and Publish section. Filter to show the students' placements within this rotation which have not yet been published. Back on the Placement Dashboard page, you can click on the Show Upcoming button to quickly navigate to the upcoming rotations. Please note that if a rotation is marked as needs attention, this means that you may have expiring contracts established with the location during the rotation, you do not have a current active contract with the location, or the students placed in the rotation still need to upload required documents. Click on the Number of Contracts to navigate to the Placement Clearance page, displaying the student placements whose contracts need attention. Click on the Requirements Upload Number to navigate to the Placement Clearance section, displaying the student placements which have outstanding requirement uploads. Navigate back to the Placements View by Location page. Now that you have courses, slots, and rotations set up, you are ready to make student placements. To make an individual placement in existing slot, click on the number of slots remaining. You will be taken to a page listing all the students enrolled in this course. You can filter this list of students by various student-related criteria using the filter icon or search for specific students using the search box. You can also view location information and notes by clicking on the View Notes hyperlink under the location name. Select the students you would like to place in the selected slots. Then click either the Place Individually or Place as Group button. If you would like to change the placement options for the different students, select the Place Individually option. If all the placement information is going to be the same for the selected students, you can save some time by selecting the Place as Group option. First, we will go over the Place Individually option. Click on the Place Individually button. You will then configure the placement information for each student. The placement information will automatically be populated by the slot information. You can always make changes to any of these sections as necessary. If you would like to set up non-consecutive dates for the student's placement, activate the Set up non-consecutive dates for this placement bit. Non-consecutive placements are placements where the student attends their experiential work in irregular intervals. Click on the calendar icon in the non-consecutive dates section to select the student's non-consecutive placement dates. You will need to select each of the student's placement dates individually. To assign a faculty member to the student's placement, click on the drop-down in the Placement Faculty section, then select the faculty you want to assign to this placement. You can select more than one faculty member if necessary. Lastly, you can add placement notes as well. You can choose to add notes which students can view in the Placement Notes, Shared with Students section, or notes which are for internal use only in the Placement Notes, Internal Use Only section. Students can view the notes shared with students in the Placement Details tab of their course page. For example, if there are conditions to the student's placement, like if the student needs to maintain at least a seat in the course to attend their placement, you can let the student know here. To add a note, click on the Add Notes button. You can then enter your note in the text area below. To delete these notes, you can click on the Trash Bin icon. You will then need to do the same for the remaining students. If you decide you would no longer like to place one of these students in the selected slots, click on the corresponding trash bin icon. You can also quickly navigate to a specific student's placement module by selecting them from the list of students on the left-hand side of the screen. Once you are done adding the student's placement information, you can then click on the Place button. If you would like to publish this student's placement immediately, you can use the Place and Publish button. Once you publish a placement, the student can view their placement information and complete their placement-related activities from their course page. If you are not quite ready to publish the placement yet, select the Place button for now. You can always publish their placement later in the Email and Publish tab. The Place as Group option is helpful because it allows you to configure multiple student placements at the same time if they share the same common placement information. If you chose the Place as Group option, you will then set up all the same information once, and each student will be assigned the same placement information. In the Placements by Students tab, you will view a placement grid with all the students enrolled in the course displayed on the leftmost column and columns for each rotation added to the course. You can search for specific students using the search box and filter the table using the Filter option. To highlight placements of a specific setting, click on the Settings hyperlink, then select the settings you would like to highlight on the table. Any unselected settings will be grayed out within the table. Lastly, if you would like to export a placement report of the student placements, click on the Export icon. The placement report will be downloaded in Excel format. This placement report details each student enrolled in the course, the location where they are placed, and their placement ID. To make a placement for an individual student in the View by Student Placements page, click on the plus icon for a specific student and rotation. A window displaying the list of available slots for this rotation will appear. You can choose a previously added slot, or you can place the student directly. If you would like to place the student in an existing slot, click on the corresponding Select button. You will then configure the placement options for the student and select the Place button or the Place and Publish button. If you would like to place the student without using the available slots, click on the Direct Placement button. You will then need to select the location where you would like to place the student. You can use the search box to search for a specific location. After you have made your selection, click on the Next button. You will then need to configure all the sections marked with a red asterisk before you can place the student. Because you are placing the student without a slot, you will need to manually select the Experiential Supervisor and Placement Faculty. If you would like to go back and select a different location, click on the Previous button. If you are ready to place the student, select the Place button or Place and Publish Now button. You will be taken back to the Placements tab. You will need to refresh the page, then you can view the student's new placement. If you would like to place multiple students directly at the same time with the same placement information, without selecting specific slots, click on the Group Direct Placement button. You will need to select the location where you would like to place the students, then click the Next button. Select the rotation where you would like to place the students. If you set up an advanced schedule for this rotation, you must select the advanced schedule as well. Select the students of this rotation you want to place at the selected location and click the Next button. You will then configure the placement information for the selected students. Again, please note that you only need to configure the placement information once, because every student selected will have the same placement information. Once you are finished configuring the placement information, select the Place button to place all the students at once or the Place and Publish Now button to place them and publish their placements. It is possible to make a placement directly within the Explore on Map section of the system. As we covered earlier, to access the Explore on Map section, navigate to a placement page, click on the Placements tab, and then click on the Explore on Map button. Select the location for which you would like to place the student by clicking the corresponding pin on the map. Please note, this location needs to have slots available in order to place a student. Then click on the View Details hyperlink. You will be taken to the Slots and Placements overview. At the top of the page, you will see an overview of the number of slots offered, the number of placements made using these slots, and the number of available slots. There will be a box for each group of slots offered in the course or courses. You can view various slot information for each slot group, such as the slot setting, rotation for which these slots are offered, the slot dates, slot status, supervision type, experiential supervisor assigned, and the students placed using these slots. Click on a student's name to access the student's profile. When you are ready, click on the Place button. On the top of the page, you can view the location's name, the city where the location is located, and the rotation for which the slot is offered. Click on the location's name to access the location profile. Hover over the eye icon to view additional location information such as the location area, site name, location status, and rotation dates. Click on the tag icon to view the tags assigned to the location. Click on the View Notes button to view the site and location notes and requirements. At the top of the page, you can also see the number of slots offered, the number of slots available, slot settings, the slot dates, and an indicator for the slot status and slot type. Hover over the slot status indicator to view the slot status. Hover over the slot type indicator to view the slot type. A list of all the students registered in the course or courses will be displayed within the table below. You can view each student's name, cohort, group, category, campus, distance to the location, rank of preference, and the wishlist where they indicated this preference. Click on the student's name to access the student's profile page. Click on the tag icon to view the tags assigned to the student. Hover over the eye icon to view additional information about the student, such as their contact information, cohort, student group, student status, pending program requirements, requirements for which the student is already placed for, and completed requirements. If the student is already placed using this slot group, the Placed Here status indicator will appear next to the student's name. You will not be able to place the student twice in the same slot group. Select the student or students you would like to place using the available slots. If you try to select more students than there are available slots, an indicator will appear alerting you there are not enough available slots. To add more slots to this slot group, you will need to do so from the Slots section of the Locations profile or from the Slots section of the Placements section. After you have made your selections, click on the Next button. You will then need to configure the placement or placements. If you selected multiple students to place, you will configure the placements for all of these students at the same time. All of these selected students will share the same placement information. If you need to return to the student selection page, click on the Previous button. After you fully configure the student's placement, click on the Place button to place the student or students or the Place and Publish Now button to place and publish the student placements. If you choose not to publish the student placements now, you can always do so later on the placement page for this course or group of courses. It is also possible to make placements while viewing student interest in the Slots section of a placement page. Please note that this is only possible if students have indicated their preference for slots offered in a given course using a slot-based wishlist or through the Published Slots section. Navigate to a placement page for a course or learning activity group. Then click on the Slots tab and select the List tab. Here you can view all the slots added for this course or placement group. Click on the number of students interested hyperlink. As previously discussed, here you can view which students indicated their preference for this slot on a slot-based wishlist or within the Published Slots section. In order to make a placement on this page, select the student or students which you would like to place using the slot they indicated interest for, then click on the Place button. You will then need to configure the placement for the student or students. If you selected multiple students to place, you will configure the placements for all of these students at the same time. After you fully configure the student's placement, click on the Place button to place the student or students or the Place and Publish Now button to place and publish the student placements. If you choose not to publish the student placements now, you can always do so later on the placement page for this course or group of courses. You can also make a placement while reviewing a student's response to their slot-based wishlist. To access a student's submitted wishlist, navigate to the Placement page, which contains the wishlist, then click on the Wishlist tab. Then click on the slot-based wishlist's name. Students who have submitted this slot-based wishlist will be assigned the Submitted or Reviewed status. Click on the Submitted or Reviewed status for the student you would like to place. A list of the slots your student indicated preference for will be populated within the list. Slots are ranked from greatest preference to least preference at the bottom. Within each slot, you can review the slot details and the student's reason for selecting the slot. If you would like to exclude the student from being placed in the slot, for example, if the student does not meet the requirements of the location, click on the Exclude from Placement checkbox. This will prevent the student from being placed in this slot within this page. If the no longer available indicator appears next to a slot, this means the slot has either been filled by a different student or the slot information has changed since the student has indicated their preference for it. You will not be able to place the student in any slots that are no longer available. To place the student in a slot, click on the corresponding Place button. You will then need to configure the placement details just as you did before. Please note you will not be able to configure a course offering for the placement. The course offering will automatically be populated with the course which the student submitted their wishlist in. Once you are finished, click on the Place or Place and Publish button to finish the placement process. When students submit My Requests, they indicate preference for specific locations and experiential supervisors, therefore we provide a quick and easy way for you to place the student while reviewing their My Request submission. Navigate to the Process My Requests section. Click on the View button for a student's request. After you have fully reviewed the student's My Request and assigned the request a location, you can place the student. For more information on how to process a request and assign a location to a request, please watch our Collecting Student Preferences tutorial. To place the student, click on the Create Placement button. You will then select the course and rotation for which you would like to place the student, then click the Next button. Then configure all the placement details for the student. The placement location will already be configured. This is the location you link to the request. When you are ready, click on the Place button or the Place and Publish button. The student's placement will then be created. Navigate back to the placement page of a course and select the Placements tab. Sometimes the student's placement may change, such as if the student's assigned experiential supervisor is unexpectedly changed. You can easily make changes to student placements even if they have been published. On the View by Location tab, you can make changes to individual students' placements by clicking on the student's name. A page will open for you to make these changes. If you would like to delete this student's placement entirely, such as if the student has dropped the course, click on the Trash bin icon. Please note that if you delete a student's placement, you will delete any learning activities the student has filled in the course. If you would like to publish the student's placement, click on the Publish button. You can always unpublish the student's placement using the Unpublish button as well. This will revoke the student's access to the Course Activities tab of the course they were placed in. Once you are done editing the student's placement information, click the Update button at the top of the page. This will update the student's placement. If you would like to update all the student's placement information for all the placements in a given slot group at the same time, click on the Bulk Edit button to the right of the Slots Available counter. You can then select the field that you would like to update, then enter the value you would like to update to. Please note that if there are any other fields dependent on the field you selected, those will appear below. You will have to configure new values for these fields as well. If you would like to add another field, click the Add Field button. You can then configure the field and value. Once you are done, click the Save button. The student's placement information will then be updated. Now click on the View by Student option. To edit a student's placement on this page, click on the location name within the table. You can then make changes to this placement and publish or unpublish the placement. To delete the placement entirely, click on the vertical ellipses in the upper right-hand corner, then select Delete. Once you are done editing the student's placement information, click on the Update button. Click on the View by List option. A page will open with a table displaying all the students' placements for this course. You can search for a specific placement using the search box. You can also filter the list of placements using the filter icon. To change the columns of the table, click on the wrench icon. If you would like to download the full table in Excel format, click on the export icon. You can also make changes to the student's placement by clicking on the pencil icon on the right-hand side of the page for a specific placement instance. A window will then open for you to make changes to, publish, or unpublish the placement. If you would like to delete the placement entirely, click on the vertical ellipses in the upper right-hand corner, then select Delete. Be sure to select the Update button once you are finished. Every student placement is assigned a unique placement ID number. This placement ID number can be used to refer to specific student placements when speaking with our support team. Therefore, if you ever have technical problems with a specific student's placement, provide this placement ID number in your support ticket, and our support team can look up the specific student's placement. To access the Placement 360 dashboard for a student placement, click on the corresponding placement ID number. Our Placement 360 dashboard provides a comprehensive overview of a specific student's placement and their placement-related activities. On the top right-hand side of the page, there will be statuses to indicate if the placement is completed, ongoing, or upcoming, whether the placement is published or not, and whether the student placement is on track, on hold, or unsuccessful. You can mark a placement as on track to indicate everything is going well with the student's placement. You can mark a placement as on hold to prevent a student from accessing and submitting their activities. On hold is used when there is an issue, such as student non-compliance, and you need to place a hold on the student's placement. The unsuccessful status is used when a student failed the course or did not perform adequately enough. The unsuccessful status also prevents students from accessing their learning activities. You can also change the student placement status from the student's placement window in the Placements section. To unpublish the student placement and remove their access to placement-related activities, click on the Publish drop-down and select the Unpublish option. To change the status of the student placement, click on the Status drop-down and select the On Track, On Hold, or Unsuccessful option. At the top of the Placement 360 dashboard, you can view the student's name, student ID, school email address, as well as the location in which they are placed, the address of the location, the rotation start and end dates, and the course in which they are placed. Click on the student's name to enter their profile page. Click on the location name to enter the location's profile page. You can also click on the course name to enter the course offerings page. Below this, there will be a timeline illustrating the progress of the student's placement. There will be a note for the date the placement was created, the date the placement was published, the date the student's placement starts, the date that student placement clearance was completed, and the date that the student placement ended or will end. The clearance nodule will be marked with the Needs Attention alert if the placement was not fully cleared. The placement will be fully cleared as long as the site contract is active and not expiring during the student's placement, and the student has uploaded their required documents. The People section of the page displays the student and the experiential supervisor and placement faculty assigned to the student. Click on the Expand button for a person to view their contact information. You can also click on the Review Compliance hyperlink within the student's card to view and review the student's compliance documents. Please make sure the student uploads their compliance documents and you fully review them before the placement start date. In the Placement Location section, you can view the information about the location where the student is placed. In the location card, you can view the location and the location's address. Above the location you will find whether the location is a primary location, and the location area assigned. Below the location name, click on the tag icon to view the tags associated with the location. Below the location's address, you can view the settings assigned to the location. In the Housing and Parking Information section, you can view whether the location offers housing or parking. If there is a green checkmark next to housing, this means that the location offers housing. Hover over the Notes icon to view notes about the housing offered. The same is true for the parking section. In the Location Categories section, you can view the location categories added to the location. In the Contracts section, you can view the contracts which cover the location in which the student is placed. If a contract is expiring during the student's placement, you will need to renew this contract or establish a new one with the site to ensure that your student can be placed at this location. If there is no valid contract, or the current contract is expiring during the student's placement dates, the Contract section will be assigned the Needs Attention status. You can click on a contract name to enter the Contracts page and make changes to the contract. If you have not added a single contract to cover this location, click on the Add Contract hyperlink to enter the Contracts page and add a new contract or modify an existing one to cover this location. For more information on how to add and edit contracts, please watch our Setting Up Sites and Locations tutorial. Below the Contract section, you will find the Site Location Contact section where you can view the contact information for personnel assigned as the site or location contacts to the student's placement. Click on the right and left arrows to scroll through the different contacts. In the Notes section, you can view the site notes and location notes. Click the Show All hyperlink to view all of the added notes. Each note will be tagged to show if it is a site or location note, and whether the note is shown to students or it is for internal use only. Click on the Site tab to view only the site notes. Click on the Location tab to view only the location notes. The Location Requirements section displays the Site and Location Requirement checklist and the Site and Location Requirement Upload section. The requirement checklist does not require the student to upload anything, however the student must upload any required documents in the Requirement Upload section prior to their placement start date. The Requirement Upload section will be marked as Needs Attention if the student has not uploaded the required documents or the student has documents you have assigned the Not Approved status. For each requirement, you can view the requirement name, the status of the requirement, notes added by the student, and the document. To view the document, click on the View Document hyperlink. To view the student note, click on the Student Note hyperlink. To upload a document on behalf of the student, click on the Upload icon. You can then upload the document using the Browse to Upload section. Either drag and drop the required document or click on the Browse to Upload button to upload the document. Please take note of the supported file types and size limits below. Once you are ready, click on the Done button. If you would like to store the student's uploaded document offline, click on the Download icon from the Download column. If you would like to download all of the student's uploaded documents at one time, click on the Download icon in the upper right-hand corner of the card to download the uploaded documents. Once the student uploads a location requirement, the status of the requirement will change to Uploaded. You will need to review students' uploaded requirements. First, click on the View Document hyperlink to view the student's uploaded documents. You can then click on the drop-down in the Action column to change the status of the requirement. If the uploaded document is appropriate, choose the Approved option to approve the student's uploaded document. If the uploaded document is inappropriate, choose the Not Approved option. If you choose the Not Approved option, you will then need to provide a reason for this status in the Reason for Rejection text area. Once you are done, click on the Update button. If you need to make changes to this reason for rejection in the future, click on the comment icon in the far right-hand side of the table. To reset the status of the student's requirement to Uploaded, click on the Reset icon to the left of the comment icon. In the Learning Activities section, you can view and review the student's learning activities active in this course and placement. This includes forms and evaluations, patient logs, and timesheets. You can review these learning activities just as you would from the course page. You cannot review the student's time off requests from their Placement 360 dashboard. In the Form and Evaluation table, you can view the name of the form due date, form submission date, the score assigned to the form, and the status of the form submission. To review a form or evaluation, click on the status of the form or evaluation. We will not cover how to review learning activities in detail in this tutorial. For more information on how to review learning activities, please watch our Managing Learning Activities tutorial. In the Patient Log section, you can view the student's total submitted patient logs and the counts of their patient logs separated by status. Click on the total log count to view all of the patient logs submitted in this course, or click on the count of a specific status to view the patient logs assigned that status in this course. You can then review these patient logs accordingly. In the calendar below, you can view the dates that patient logs were submitted for. Click on the left arrow to move to the former months. Click on the right arrow to move to the latter months. The timesheet section functions similar to the patient log section. You will see a count of the student's total submitted timesheet time in this course as well as the total time of each status of submission. Click on one of the status time counts to view the timesheets of that specific status. You can then review timesheets accordingly. In the calendar below, you can view the dates that timesheets were submitted for. Click on the left arrow to move to the former months. Click on the right arrow to move to the latter months. In the Notes and Documents section, you can view the notes added to the student placement, the slot in which the student was placed, the site, and the location. Just like before, there will be an indicator for each note signifying what type of note it is and an indicator indicating if the note is for internal use only or if it is shared with students. In the Documents section, you can view the documents uploaded to the site and location. Each document will be assigned an indicator signifying if it was added at the site or location level, whether it has been marked as archived, and whether it has been shared with the student. Click on the View Document hyperlink to view the uploaded document. Navigate back to the placement page of the course or placement group. In the Email and Publish section, you can publish students' placements and send notifications of the students' placements to students, location contacts, or experiential supervisors. To publish a student's placement, click on the rotation drop-down and select your desired rotation. Student placements within this rotation will be populated in the table below. Click on the filter icon to filter this list of students by various placement and student-related criteria. Select the students' placements you would like to publish, then click on the Publish button. If you would like to unpublish a published placement, select the placement, then click on the vertical ellipses and select Unpublish. To send a notification to a student about a newly created placement, select the student, then click the Compose Email button. A window will open for you to configure the email notification. Click on the Next button. You will then select the template for the email you would like to send. You can select our pre-made standard template, or any other template you have created. Click Add a Template to add a new template. You can then provide a template name, subject name, and header and footer layout for the email template. You will then provide a body for the email template. Be sure to use the merge fields displayed in the upper right-hand corner of the page. These merge fields will be replaced with the information relevant to this specific email correspondence. To use a merge field, type the @ symbol, then select the field you would like to include. For example, type Dear @ symbol, then select the first name, then space @ symbol, and select the last name. These fields will then be replaced with the faculty member's first name and last name when the email is sent. When you are done, click the Save button to save this template. If you would like to delete a previous template, click on the template list, then click on the trash bin icon to the right of the template name. To edit a previously added template, click the template, then click the Edit button. You can then make changes to this template. Once you are done, select a template and click Preview. You can then choose to send the invitation now or schedule it to be sent later. If you choose to schedule the email to be sent later, you will need to provide the date you want it to be sent. On the left-hand side of this window, you will see a preview of the invitation. Check this to make sure it is configured correctly. Once you are done, click Send. You can also email location contacts to notify them of student placements. To send an email to a location contact, click on the Location tab. You can choose to send individual emails for each student placement using the Individual tab, or group the emails together to send a single email with information for multiple placements using the Group tab. By sending a single email for multiple placements, you can avoid spamming location contacts with emails if there are numerous placements at the location where they work. To send emails for each individual placement, make sure you have selected the Individual tab. In the table below, you can view the locations where students are placed for the selected rotation. The table will display the location, students placed, placement information, site and location contacts configured for receiving email notifications, experiential supervisors configured for receiving email notifications, and the last time that the location was notified of this student placement. Click on the location name to enter the location profile, student name to enter the student profile, or the personnel name to enter the personnel profile. You can also click on the student's placement ID to access the student's placement 360 page. If you would like to select different site or location contacts to receive this notification, click on the pencil icon in the Site or Location Contacts section. A window will open for you to select the site or location contacts. Below the contacts, you will see information about the other students placed at this location for the selected rotation. Please note that selecting contacts here does not configure the selected contacts to receive email notifications automatically in the future. In order to change a personnel member's email preferences, you will need to do this within the personnel member's profile page. However, newly selected contacts in this section will be configured to only receive this email notification. Click on the Update button once you have made your selections. You can also use the pencil icon in the Experiential Supervisor section to change the experiential supervisors configured to receive this notification similarly. You can also choose to send this email to only the site and location contacts or experiential supervisors. To select a specific role to receive the email, click on the filter icon and select the recipients option. Then select the role and click on the Apply button. Then select the student placements you would like to notify the locations of and click on the Compose Email button. You will then need to configure the email notification and send it. If you want to group all the placements together to notify each location with a single email notification, click on the Group tab, select the desired rotations, select the location or locations, click the Compose Email button, configure the notification and send the email. Lastly, it is possible to notify the experiential supervisor of the student's placement and thank them for supervising your students with credit hours. Just like how you did for the location, you can also choose to send a separate email for each individual student's placement, or you can choose to send a single email grouping together the multiple student placements that the experiential supervisor has been assigned to. Grouping placements together can be helpful for those instances where the experiential supervisor is assigned to multiple new placements, and you would like to notify them without spamming them with excessive emails. To send emails for each individual placement, make sure you have selected the individual tab. The table below will display the instances of students placed, the location assigned to each placement, the student placed, student placement information, the experiential supervisor assigned to the placement and the credit hours afforded to the experiential supervisor. Please note that the number of credit hours afforded depends on how you set up the rotation. The credits afforded can depend on the actual student timesheet hours approved or the preset number of hours you defined when setting up the rotation. To manually change the credit hours afforded to an experiential supervisor, click on the pencil icon in the Actual Hours section. A window will open displaying brief placement information for the student. There will also be a section displaying the number of hours you previously configured to be afforded to the experiential supervisor. Enter the new number of hours in the Actual Hours text box, then click on the Update button. You can then select the student placements you would like to notify the experiential supervisor of and click on the Compose Email button. You will then need to configure the email notification and send it. If you want to group all the placements together to notify the selected experiential supervisor or supervisors with a single email notification, click on the Group tab. A list of the experiential supervisors assigned for the selected rotations will appear in the table below. Click on the View Details hyperlink to view the placement information for the placements assigned to this experiential supervisor for the selected rotations. When you are ready, select the experiential supervisor or supervisors, click the Compose Email button, configure the notification, and send the email. Please note that when you group student placements together, an individual email will be sent for each experiential supervisor selected. Please note, we offer the ability to protect student compliance information sent within shared student profiles and when emailing compliance information to clinical instructors from the Placements section. If you would like to set up this additional protection of student compliance information, please reach out to our support team at prism-support@exxat.com. After you have our support team set up this compliance protection functionality and you send student compliance information using a merge field to a site contact, the site contact will click on the link within the sent email and they will be met with a screen asking them to enter the one-time password sent to their school email address. The email address that is sent this one-time password is the same email address you delivered the email to. Once they enter the one-time password, they will be able to view the student's compliance information. It is possible to include a thank you certificate in the PDF format when sending thank you emails. This certificate can include the student or students the experiential supervisor supervised, the total number of supervision hours, total number of CEU credits earned from this supervision, and the rotations or their dates. It is possible to send these with group email distributions or individual email distributions. To set up these certificates, you will first need to provide a sample certificate to prism-support@exxat.com. You will also indicate if you would like to use this certificate when sending individual emails, group emails, or both. Support will then attach these custom thank you certificates to your email templates. To view the certificate attached by support, select a template and click on the Edit button. At the bottom of the page, in the Attachments section, you can view the certificates added. To view a preview of the certificate, click on the eye icon. If there are any issues with the certificate's configuration, click on the Raise a Ticket hyperlink. Click on the Preview button, you will then view this certificate when in the preview step of the email distribution process. Click on the Send button and the certificate will be sent attached to the email. To view the history of email notifications sent, click on the Email Dashboard button. A window will open displaying the email notification history. You can select from the Individual, Group, Student, Location, and Experiential Supervisor tabs to view the email instances of these types. The table will display the recipient, their email, the subject of the email, the status of the email of the sender, and the date the email was sent. You can use the Email Notification History section to ensure that these placement notifications and thank you emails are being delivered successfully. In the Placement Clearance section, you can view whether students are prepared for their placements. The table will display each student, the course in which they were placed, and their placement information. Click on the Placement ID to enter the Placement 360 page for this student's placement. Click on a student's name to enter the student profile page. Click on the course offering name and you will be taken to the course page. Scroll to the right and you will find the Compliance, Contract Status, and Requirement Upload Status columns. In the Compliance Status column, you can view the status of the student's compliance documents. If the student has yet to upload a single compliance document, they will be assigned the No Docs Started status. If the student has uploaded some compliance documents, but not all of them, or they have expired or not approved compliance documents, they will be assigned the Some Action Needed status. If all of the student's compliance documents are approved, they will be assigned the All Docs Approved status. If the student has uploaded compliance documents that are expiring during or before the student's placement, there will be a red expiring before/during placement indicator under the compliance status. You will need to ask the student to upload a new document, upload it on their behalf, or change the expiry date of their uploaded document. Click on the status in the compliance column to view the student's compliance documents and review them. For more information on how to review student compliance documents, please watch our Setting Up and Reviewing Student Compliance tutorial. To bulk download the uploaded student's compliance documents, click on the download icon in the left-hand corner of the compliance window. Locations may require students to upload specific documents before their placement begins. The status in the Requirement Upload Status column indicates whether students have uploaded the required documents. The Action Required status indicates the student has uploaded at least one document, but still has outstanding documents they need to upload. The Get Started status indicates that the student still needs to upload all of their required documents. If the student has uploaded all of the required documents and you have approved all of them, this status will show as approved. If students have not yet uploaded the required documents, you will need to reach out to them to upload the requirements, or you can upload them on behalf of the student. Click on the status to view the list of applicable requirements. For each requirement, you can view the requirement name, the status of the requirement, notes added by the student, and the document. To view the document, click on the View Document hyperlink. To view the student note, click on the Student Note hyperlink. To upload a document on behalf of the student, click on the Upload icon. You can then upload the document using the Browse to Upload section. Either drag and drop the required document or click on the Browse to Upload button to upload the document. Please take note of the supported file types and size limits below. Once you are ready, click on the Done button. If you would like to store the student's uploaded document offline, click on the Download icon from the Download column. If you would like to download all of the student's uploaded documents at one time, click on the Download icon in the upper right-hand corner of the card to download the uploaded documents. Once the student uploads a location requirement, the status of the requirement will change to Uploaded. You will need to review students' uploaded requirements. First, click on the View Document hyperlink to view the student's uploaded documents. You can then click on the drop-down in the Action column to change the status of the requirement. If the uploaded document is appropriate, choose the Approved option to approve the student's uploaded document. If the uploaded document is inappropriate, choose the Not Approved option. If you choose the Not Approved option, you will then need to provide a reason for this status in the Reason for Rejection text area. Once you are done, click on the Update button. If you need to make changes to this reason for rejection in the future, click on the comment icon in the far right-hand side of the table. To reset the status of the student's requirement to Uploaded, click on the Reset icon to the left of the comment icon. If you made any changes to the student's uploaded requirements or their statuses, click on the Save button in the upper right-hand corner of the page to save these changes. The contract status column indicates whether the placement location has a current, valid contract established with the school. Click on the contract status and a window will open containing the list of contracts with this location. Each contract will be assigned a status indicating whether or not it is active. You can then click on one of the contract's names to visit the contract page and make changes to the contract information. Scrolling to the right, you will find the experiential supervisors assigned to the student's placement. Click on an experiential supervisor's name to navigate to their personnel profile page. You can also check if you have the experiential supervisor's CV, licensure, and certification information in the following 3 columns. If their licensure or certifications are expired, there will be an expired indicator within the column. If the experiential supervisor has any missing documentation, the missing indicator will appear in the column. Click on the open page icon in the CV, licensure, or certification section to navigate to the corresponding section of the personnel profile. In the Reports section you can run helpful reports on the slots and students' placements. For our purposes, we will run the Comprehensive Placement Report. Select the Comprehensive Placement Report. You will see a table with information about all the student placements in this course or placement group. You can scroll left or right to view more information. You can use the search box to search for specific students. You can also use the filter icon to filter out the list of students. You can also download the report in the Excel format using the export icon. Or use the wrench icon to edit the columns of the table. You can change the order of columns by using the double ellipses to drag and drop columns, or by clicking the up and down arrows. To remove columns of the table, click on the trash bin icon. You can then re-add deleted columns using the Add a Column button on the bottom of the window. Reset all of the columns to their default state by clicking on the Reset All hyperlink at the top of the page. Click on the Save button once you are finished. Other reports may be set up in another fashion. For example, in the Distribution of Slots Across Settings report you need to select a rotation, then click on the Download Report button. To view this kind of report you need to download it. Thank you for watching our Managing Placements tutorial. Please take the time to check out our other helpful Exxat Prism tutorials.